you buy land. When you go for registration of that land, you find that power of attorney was not registered. Then you have lost your millions. Wakili Dansan Umari is telling you, anybody who has a power of attorney, especially land brokers, land selling agents, those who are estate agents telling you, I have a power of attorney to run these apartments, pay rent to me, you are being swindled. A power of attorney is a serious document. It is not a document that people joke about it. Many of the transactions of land, especially the diaspora people, you will get somebody telling you, I have the power of attorney to sell this land. Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer. We are dealing with a very fundamental question. When you are not present, especially when you are not in Kenya, how can you transact your properties? Must you be coming every day from the US to come and transact your property? This is a very critical question for people who are in the diaspora. You send money here, you give your relatives the power to run your property. You give your relatives power to access your bank accounts. You give your property, your brother or your sister or your mother the power to sell your property. But do you know the law of assigning power, yourself, your power to somebody else? Can somebody go to your bank and withdraw money and the signature is not theirs? Yes. Can somebody sell land that is not his? Yes. That is what you call the power of attorney. The power of attorney is a legal instrument. It is a document that gives power to another person to do that which the owner could have done. Umari is in America. He's not in Kenya here. The bank, he wants to go to sell the land, his land in the village. He must have what is called a power of attorney. Why we have raised this issue is because there are 3 types of powers of attorney. And you need to know which power of attorney can you give to anybody. Most people have given a general power of attorney. But the mind of the one giving that is that I have only given you this power of attorney. You go and sell this plot LR 200 at Kitengela. That is the intention of the US person in the diaspora. That power of attorney is given to Vivian. Vivian goes and sells that land in Kitengela, moves to the land in Lamu, moves to the land in Mombasa, moves to the apartments in Kileleshwa and sells everything. When you come back, you are asking, what happened? Then you are told you had given a general power of attorney. That power, we know Oburu is saying power, power. We are not talking about the power of ODM. We are not talking about Oburu's power. We are talking of power of attorney. What is the meaning of a power of attorney? It's a legal instrument through which one person or the principal authorizes another person called a donee to act on the donor's behalf in certain legal, financial, property, or personal matters. It is a delegation of your powers temporarily for somebody or permanently to deal with your property. This is governed under the Registration of Documents Act, Cap 285 of the laws of Kenya, and also Contract Act, Cap 23, the laws of the Republic of Kenya. Which are these three types of power of attorneys? One, the general power of attorney. This grants broad, it gives every type of power to manage everything. You can manage property, you can manage finance, you can manage legal matters, you can file things in court on behalf of a person. When does the law envisage somebody to say to give a general power of attorney? Especially when a man is completely incapacitated, or the husband. You can give a general power of attorney to your wife. You can give a general power of attorney to your husband because you are incapacitated, you are comatose in a hospital. You can give it to your child, or you can give it to somebody. Here, the general power of attorney is complete, 100%. He or she has power to deal with you. But be very careful. And as I've said, this general power of attorney is normally abused. People can do anything with the general power of attorney. So don't give a general power of attorney. It is as if you have left all controls to that person. If they are mischievous, they can swindle you. And that is why most people in the diaspora, this is your tech. Make sure, don't give a general power of attorney. Then the question is, which then is a second power? There is a special or specific power of attorney. This is limited to a particular task this person is supposed to do. If it is going to court, you allow him to sign documents, affidavit to go to court only. If it is receiving rent from your apartments that you have worked in the US and built, it is specific and limited to that collection of rent. Spending of that rent is not part of that person's issue. If it is about selling a portion of your land, you have got to specify that portion of land, the title number, where the land is found, the acreage of that land, the price you want him to sell, and after he has sold, where should he deposit that money? It ends there. Once he has sold, that is the end of it. That is what you call a specific or limited one. Then we have an enduring or irrevocable power of attorney. This is lifelong. Even when the person has been indisposed, even when the person becomes, it can never be revoked. This is a prison. It is very rare. It is very rare. It will need careful drafting because you have completely given out your power. You can never reclaim it back. That is what is called irrevocable power of attorney. So today, Court Helicopter has brought you 3 forms of powers of attorney. One, what we say, a general power of attorney that gives you the general powers. 2, a specific power of attorney that deals with a specific issue. And lastly, an irrevocable power of attorney. Then the third question Bramwell is asking me, Wakili, then who can enter into a power of attorney? Number 1, one must have capacity. For you to do a power of attorney, you must be above 18 years old. 2, you must have the capacity to give what you own. For example, you cannot give somebody a power of attorney over property that does not belong to you. 3, you must be of an adult, you must be of sound mind. Are you mad? you will not be allowed to give a power of attorney if you are mad. Are you insolvent? You cannot, if you are bankrupt, give a power of attorney. 2, a scope and purpose. A power of attorney, you are generally told, give a scope. What, up to what level have you given your powers? You give your scope and you give the purpose. Why are you donating these powers? Why can't you do it yourself? 3rd, it must be that you are giving power of attorney to a lawful transaction. You can never give a power of attorney to transact in narcotics. You can never give a power of attorney to deal with the trophies of animals. You can never give a power of attorney for somebody to trade in changa. The law does not allow that. It is only in lawful business. 4, the power of attorney must be in writing. It must be in writing. The lawyers must draft it. Once it has been drafted, it must be signed by the donor, the one who is giving the power, and it must be signed by the person who is receiving that donor, that power. It must be witnessed by 2 witnesses. After it has been drafted by an advocate, powers of attorney cannot be drafted by any other person. A lawyer, it must be an advocate. Remember, we did the lessons. A lawyer is a student who has finished law from a university. He can't draft a power of attorney. It must be an advocate who has been admitted by the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. After it has been drafted, you must register that power of attorney at the Registrar of Lands. We know most of the American people, you have drafted your power of attorney. Has that power of attorney been registered at the Registrar of Lands? Have you paid taxes to that effect? Have you paid stamp duty to that document? If it is not, then that document is a waste of time. Stamp duty after registration at the Registrar of Companies, at the Registrar of Lands, you must pay stamp duty to KRA within 30 days. If you don't pay within 30 days, that power of attorney becomes useless. Therefore, registration is important. Then lastly, it must be executed under the company seal with correct board resolutions and accompanied by incorporation documents. So, a power of attorney is a serious document. It is not a document that people joke about it. Many of the transactions of land, especially the diaspora people, you will get somebody telling you, I have the power of attorney to sell this land. You buy land. When you go for registration of that land, you find that power of attorney was not registered. Then you have lost your millions. Wakili Dansan Umari is telling you, anybody who has a power of attorney, especially land brokers, land selling agents, those who are estate agents telling you, I have a power of attorney to run these apartments, pay rent to me, you are being swindled. You are being swindled. You must confirm that the power of attorney was signed by the person who owns the property and it was registered, stamp duty was given, and it is a document you can rely on. Wakili Dan Stanumari on the controversial issue specifically targeting people who buy property, who do financial transactions from abroad the country. Wakili Dan Stanumari, enjoy your weekend.